Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jerso, and in today's video I thought we could sit and chat about some books that are on my summer TBR. This is basically just going to be a sit down rambling type video of all the books that come to mind that I really would like to read this summer, but not really holding myself like to a strict list. Just some things that I think I would be in the mood for, and I'm just gonna sit and get ready for the day as we chat about my summer TBR. I cannot believe it's already June. We're halfway through the year and it's speeding by. So without further ado, let's get started of all the books I would like to read this summer. All right, so the first couple books on my list are obviously romances. I feel like during the summer, I'm just always in the mood for a good beach read romance, even though I live in Arizona and we have absolutely zero beaches. I still love a good romance. So the first couple that's on my list is one that I'm pretty sure is on everybody's list: Emily Henry books. I read Beach Read a couple years ago, absolutely loved it. I tried reading People We Meet on Vacation, couldn't really get into it, and so now I want to read the rest of her backlist, I guess you could say. I did read her newest one, Funny Story, loved it. So on my list, I think I have Happy Place and Book Lovers. So Happy Place is more of a second chance romance. We're following our two main characters who obviously were in a relationship before, and they were in like a long-term relationship. Hold on, I'm gonna put my hair up so it's out of my face. I guess that's better. They were in a long-term relationship and they decided to break up, but they haven't told any of their friends yet. And so when two of their friends are getting married, they decide to pretend to still be in a relationship for the wedding, so things aren't so like super awkward. So there's that one. And then Book Lovers is about a girl named Nora who agrees to go on a like trip with her sister, and she keeps running into like her rival editor or something like that on this small town. Those are the two Emily Henry books that are on my list. Another romance that I'm super excited for this summer, I think it's releasing in July, is Play Along by Liz Tomford. This is book 4 in the Windy City series, which I absolutely love, and I'm so excited for this book. This is the romance between Kennedy and Isaiah, who are characters from the previous books, and this is like a fake marriage or marriage of convenience trope, and I just love these two characters so much. I love Isaiah, and I'm so excited to see like how he grows in this book, because he's kind of known as like the playboy who just wants to be around every girl. So I am super excited for their romance. So once that releases, I'm 100% reading right away. Another romance that I'm really excited for to read this summer is Anything by Kennedy Ryan. I specifically want to read her sports romance series, and starting with Long Shot. I think that's the first book, so I really would like to read that series. And then I also want to try Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan as well. That one is a second chance romance, and I'm not the biggest fan of second chance romances. They tend to not work the greatest for me. It has to be done in a specific way, and I unfortunately have not found one that I particularly like and enjoy. So I'm hoping that, I think it's Happy Place and Before I Let Go kind of changed my mind about second chance romances. Like I said, there are a lot of romances on this list, so a couple more that are on my list are Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. I have been on my Abby Jimenez kick lately. I've read Part of Your World and the other one, I forgot the title already, but I've read those two, really enjoyed them, so I would like to get to her new release, Just for the Summer. And that one, we're following two characters who realize that once they break up with their current partners, the next person they date end up being their soulmate. So they come up with a plan to date each other so that once they break up, they can find their soulmates. And I think that sounds super cute and fun, so I want to read that. I would also like to finally read The Bromance Book Club by Lyssa K. Adams. This has been on my TBR for years, and I still haven't read it. So if I could get to that this year, that would be fantastic. And then I do want to reread the Brown Sister trilogy. I forgot the Chloe Brown one, but specifically I would love to read Take a Hint, Denny Brown. That one was my absolute favorite. I loved Danny so much, and Zaf, I think is his name. I loved their fake dating relationship, and the book is just super cute, warm vibes, good feelings, and it's like the perfect summer book. So I would like to reread that. And last but not least, for romances, I've been seeing a lot of things about Done and Dusted, that kind of series. I think it's a series. There are two books out right now, I think Done and Dusted and Swift and Saddled. And those are some small town romances, like small town cowboy romances. And since Elsie Silver really let me down with her other book, Wild something or another, this summer I figured I would give this one a try, since I've heard lots of great things about it. So those are a couple of romances that are on my summer TBR. Like I said, summer, I'm just always in a romance mood. So that's mostly what I think I'm going to be reading this summer. But I do want to throw a bit of fantasy and other genres in there. So we'll talk about those next. Like I mentioned, there are a couple of fantasy books that I would really like to get to this summer. Fantasy and I during the summer months, I don't know what it is, we just don't get along, but there are some books that I would really like to get to this summer that are high up on my priority list. So first book that is high up on my list is Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. Apple TV just came out with a limited time series of this book, and I would really like to watch the show, but I'm one of those annoying people that would like to read the book first before they watch the show with certain situations, and this is one of them. So I really would like to get that. That's kind of at like my top priority for the summer. Next, I would really like to finish the Lycanius trilogy by James Islington. I've read book 1, The Shadow of What Was Lost, recently, and I would really I want to complete this series. I've been on a roll with completing series and continuing them, and I would really like to keep that up. So I would like to finish books 2 and 3 in the next couple months. This is a high fantasy where we are following several characters who all kind of have a role to play in the end of the world type of thing, killing of humans, figuring out if they are a good guy, bad guy. They're not so sure what side they stand on, and I'm really enjoying it. So I would really like to continue that series. Another series that has been on my list for years and years and years is the David Bad trilogy. I read book 1, The City of Brass, I think a couple summers ago, I think 3 years now. I liked it, but I didn't like love it, and I just like didn't continue on with the series. But now that I've had more experience reading fantasies and just in a better headspace than I was when I read it the first time, I figured I would give it another try and also continue on with the series and see how I like it overall. In this series, we're following Nuri, who is a scam artist who accidentally summons a djinn, and she is whisked away to the city of Brass, or Daevabad, where she learns that she holds some interesting powers. I want to finish that, well, reread the first book and then finish that series. And lastly, I think this book was supposed to come out in August, but it might be coming out beginning of September, is the Ending Fire, which is book 3 of the Ending Fire trilogy. I have read and loved books 1 and 2. They are some of my favorite fantasy series to date, and I am super excited to see how this series concludes, and I'm really hoping that it comes out in September before summer is over, because that would just be perfect. So those are kind of all my fantasy books that are on my radar for this summer. I do want to try and add in some more literary fiction into my summer reading, so there are a couple of those on my TBR for this summer, which we will talk about next. So I don't normally read a lot of literary fiction, but the ones that I have read, I've really enjoyed, so I really want to explore a lot more lit fic this summer, and I just feel like summer is the perfect time. So one book that has been on my TBR for such a long time that I really hope to get to this summer is Firefly Lane by Kristen Hanna. I cannot talk today. This is just, Kristen Hanna is a very popular historical fiction, all types of fiction writer, and her most popular is The Nightingale, which is a historical fiction. I don't think I'm there yet, so I want to start with Firefly Lane and see how I like it. This one is basically following 2 friends who have been friends since like they were younger, all the way into adulthood, and that seems more up my alley-ish. It's like a little bit of historical aspects, but not like too much. Hopefully, we'll see. But I really want to read that this summer. Another one that has been on my TBR for a long time is a man called Ove. This is by Frederick Bachman. I heard that this one is a tearjerker. We're following an older gentleman who is dealing with grief and just feelings of sadness and loneliness, and a family with young children moves next door and kind of like brings him out of his shell, and that just sounds so heartwarming, so wonderful, and I'm really excited to read that one. Next isn't necessarily like literary fiction, but it is like a murder mystery whodunit type of thing, so I just kind of put it in with this category, and that is The Thursday Murder Club. Now, if you've been watching my videos, you know that murder mysteries, whodunits just have not been working for me this year, but I am determined to find one that I like. So I wanted to add this one onto the list. I've heard lots of good reviews, lots of good things, so we'll try it out. In here we're following, I think this is like the nursing home one, where there is a murder that happens there and all the elderly friend group tries to solve it, and it just sounds like good nature, fun, all the things, so I want to give it a try. Lastly, one of the books that I would like to try is the husband's. I'm not really sure how to say the author's last name, so obviously the picture's right there. This one has such an interesting premise. I'm pretty sure it could be classified as literary fiction, but like with like a little bit of magical realism. In here we're following our main character, who I'm pretty sure she comes home and a guy opens the door and it says that he's her husband, but I don't think she's been married before. And every couple days, weeks, months, whatever, a new guy comes from the attic of her house claiming to be her new husband. And the premise is so interesting. I've heard lots of good things about it, and just from the synopsis alone, like, I'm just like, for some reason that just screams summer, and I want to read it this summer. So those are all the books on my TBR. Like I said, TBR is very loose. It's mostly books on my radar that I would like to read this summer or would consider reading this summer, just so I can, you know, have some direction with my reading. But that is my list. Do let me know down in the comments what books you are hoping to read this summer, what books are on your radar, what genres you tend to go to for the summer. And I would like to, you know, get some ideas from you guys. Maybe there's something missing on my list that sounds interesting that is on yours. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Like this video if you liked it, and subscribe if you want to. And I will be seeing you guys in another video soon. Bye, friends.